thrust set. 5500. Breathe up. Rotate.
Hello, what is going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Glad to see everybody back here. Hope you're having a wonderful Friday morning, evening, afternoon, wherever it may be you're tuning in from. I do appreciate you hanging out with me, spending a little bit of your time with me here on the channel. Now, my audio looks really laggy on my OBS. I don't know why that is. Do I sound okay? Weird. Yes, we got some surprises here, chat. It's been a week. I've been away. I've been on vacation. I'm sunned out. I'm sunburned. I'm ready to just chill and do some flight simming. And I've been itching to do a little, well, actually, there's a couple pieces of content that are going to be coming at you. But I have been saying for a while, you guys know I've been on this force feedback kick for a better part of a year now, trying to find the best hardware that I can find for simming that's not building my own cockpit. And I got down the force feedback rabbit hole, and today we finally get to go into something that I'm very, very excited about, the Moza AB9 force feedback base. We're going to talk all about it. I'm going to show you the software that I use to set it up while we're in cruise. It's just going to be a nice little flight, and this base can do so much more than what we're going to do today, and I'm going to show you that in other streams and other videos and stuff coming out in the future. But I can't just not take it up with an A320 on the first go. So that's what we got planned today. We got mixed up the thumbnail. I had that US Airways in there, but that was just so I could make a thumbnail before I went on vacation. We're in a really awesome livery. This one is from Silky Smooth. It's the United tulip livery, and this one has got some really good detail, especially on the fading on the tail. I don't know if you can see yet here the lines, not just one gradient, it's the individual lines all the way up. Absolutely awesome livery. I have the time wound back a little bit, so it's about 6:30 or no 6 a.m. local time now in Reno. I wound it back just a little bit because I don't want to fly at midday. There's no weather, there's no clouds, so it's pretty mid. So we're going to kind of wind it back and do an early morning flight down to San Diego, where it's currently overcast, and it was right at minimums. I think it's improving. I'm hoping that it doesn't. Maybe we can do something and divert to LAX, because what I want to do, I haven't flown into the Anybuilds LAX with my new rig yet, so I kind of want to check that out. So we might have to come up with something en route to make us divert if we have the time. If not, we'll just head down to San Diego. It's always juicy flying in there, come in over the mountains, and we'll see how it is. So we'll keep an eye on it. Battleship Gray, greater than all. I do agree, JCR. Battleship Gray is GOAT on the United livery. However, mixing it up, as the sun comes up, I think you'll really appreciate this, the blue tulip livery that we got here from Silky Smooth. McAllen's in the house. Good to see you. Wingnut's in the house. What's up, NG Driver? Good to see you, man. Hakan, what's good to see you. Jeremy's in the house. Gustavo is here. Gustavo, hopefully you're not going to be crashing today. He's our residential fly it into the mountains group flyer. Zippy's in the house. Good to see you, Zippy. Team Vodka, Devere, Chase B, Kyle Ferris, and many more. So I appreciate you all tuning in. Let's not waste any time, and let's get right to it. So let me set up my view here so I can put that away. And let's get into the cockpit. We'll fire this thing up. I want to make sure all the sim sounds are up proper. There we go. Let's run those up. That sounds better. Okay, so CFIT Specialist. Exactly. That's what Gus is, the CFIT Specialist. Rubs, thanks for the 12 months of support, 12 months of epic content. Thanks, El Captain. Rubs, thank you so much, man. Here's to another 12 months, my friend. Another 12 months. It's going to be a lot of fun. I think, guys, the rest of the year, we've got a lot of cool stuff coming to Flight Sim. We've got the Just Flight Fokkers, the Just Flight A300. We have a surprise, I'm hoping, 7.4. Well, it definitely looks like a 7.4 on that PMDG photo they posted. We've got the 727 that's out. We've got force feedback entering the market. And, of course, 2024 on the horizon. It's just, and the A350. I mean, there's so much good stuff coming that I just can't even... It's just awesome. I'm thinking about just taking a no flying line for the rest of the year. Just be like sim for the rest of the year. But I don't know if that would be a financially wise decision. So let's fire up this A320 first and foremost, and then we'll continue to talk. We're going to get into the base here. I've got my camera set up so you can take a look at it. But let's go ahead and go through our basic power up. We can hear the old school ADI spinning up here. I'm going to turn up the sounds even more on the flight sim. There we go. Boom. We'll hit the external power. Cold and dark airplane. She's going to come to life. Look at this. Default Reno. You know what? Reno and Salt Lake City are just very neglected areas of Microsoft Flight Sim. I don't know why. We've got several other airports that have multiple devs, but we don't have a good Reno as far as I'm concerned. And we don't have a good Salt Lake. I mean, there's a couple. There's like a Bredock Salt Lake, and then there's like another one that's But we need some quality Salt Lake and Reno airports. Rubs dropping the 5 gifted memberships. Hey, thank you so much, man. I really appreciate the 5 gifted subs, man. If you pick one up from Rubs, make sure you shout them out. Say thank you. Very kind of you. Phoenix. Oh, how could I forget the 19 and 21 on the way? I know. Here's my prediction for the 319 and 321. So I have a 3-day trip starting on Monday. It'll probably release Monday, or I got a 3-day trip that. So after that 3-day trip, I have a day off, and then another 3-day trip to finish the month out. So what's that? Friday. Yeah, it'll either be out next Friday or Monday as soon as I go to work. That would be my luck. So who knows? But the preview looked awesome. I can't wait. Of course, Phoenix, no stone unturned when it comes to Phoenix and their airplanes. So I can't wait to see what's coming up with that. All right, so now this is something that I had new again, but I'm going to go ahead and clear that side stick fault because I think I know what's going on, but we'll get there in a minute. Denali B, welcome to Private Pilot, man. Glad to have you on board. All right, let's go ahead and get some lights on here. I can't see. Crew supply, ground control, CVR test. There she goes. We'll get the 8 ears in align mode. We'll run this up here. Boom, that's going to align. We'll go strobe auto, nav position 1, off, arm the emergency exit lights. Everything looks good here. Let's do a fire test on 1. Oops, double click. 321. Nah, I mean, I know everyone's going to be excited about the 321 because, oh, big airplane. I'm excited about the 319. 319 is my baby bus, man. I love the 319. It's fun to fly. It's aggressive. It's just so much fun. I love the 319. 321 is cool if I gotta, fly in a lot of turbulence. But if ask me, any day of the week, if we're just gonna go up and, 319, man, it's fun. It's a visceral experience. All right, we'll pull that flight plan in. Let's go ahead and set this little ADI. I really like this little animation here, and we'll do this old school ADI set. They said beta testing went to 321, but slowly converted to 319. They said in beta testing, people went to 321, but slowly converted to 319. Yes, I mean, the 319, here's the biggest misconception. I'm going to go back here. We have to have the cabin lights on full bright for 30 minutes for the photoluminescent exit lights. Everyone's going to be like, oh, 321, max range, we go farther. No, it's the opposite. It's the same wing, essentially, minus some flap details. But as far as range is concerned, without going into NEOs and extended fuel tanks and all that, the 319 actually goes the furthest between the 19, 20, and 21, because you think about it, you have the same amount of fuel capacity if you have the same wings. Which one's lighter? Which one's got a better, which one's going to go, which one's going to have more performance? It's going to be the 19. It's going to be the shorter, lighter one. So that one can actually go further than the 321. Now, the 321 does have options for different center tanks and things of that nature. Now, of course, when we start talking NEOs, you get the XLR, different ball game. So, but just talking straight classic Airbus, CEO 320, 1921, the 19 is going to outrange all of them. So, and the 19 is just, you can take it up to 39 pretty much all the time. I mean, you really got to be loaded down. But the 321, you're not really going to get to 39 unless you're pretty light or moderately loaded or you burn a lot of gas. So the 19, get up, get over that weather, come on down to a short airfield. You got good landing performance. You can stop it on a dime. I mean, I'm pretty sure I stopped a 319 in like 1,500 feet. I'll save that for a podcast. But anyway, don't get me too excited for that. We got things to focus on here with the 320 today. So I'm going to turn this screen down. Let's finish up the alignment here. Let's go ahead and pull our flight plan in. We got Reno, San Diego. We're operating this as United 357. We'll put that in the box. Cost index, we'll go 55 because once we get to cruise, we're going to go over the software for the Moza flight sim base, which if you want to take a sneak peek, make sure my cams are on. There she is in all her glory. So I've got the Moza base. Now I took my rubber gator off just for this stream because I'm still working on some calibration. But the rubber gator, if you have it, it does fit right on there and it's beautiful. But right now I'm just running it with no gator. I got the base on there and looks like the camera's up and running good. So we'll have that ready to go. But this is the juice, chat. All right, we'll save that. Team Vodka, you moderately loaded by 8 p.m. last night. Oh my gosh. Of course you were. I was on an airplane with 3 children, and it was quite the experience. All right, 35,000 feet is what we filed as a cruise altitude. 350, that's going to go in the box. We will do this, and then we will come over here. We don't have GSX. GSX is dead to me. So we'll go ahead and we've got the proper weights. We'll load aircraft. Real time. Let's do a 26-minute load. We may end that, but we'll do a real-time load. That's going to start doing its thing. We'll come down here. Reno will set up for our departure. Matter of fact, let's get the ATIS. See what Reno's doing this afternoon. It says 357 types 354. Did I type the wrong one? Oh yeah. Hey, that's actually a point of emphasis. Make sure you type the right call sign because then your flight plan gets all jacked up and dispatch doesn't know who you are. So UAL 357. Make sure we got that in there. Thank you. Let's go ahead and pull the weather situation. Did you non-rev your whole fam? No, we bought tickets for the children because we have a lap child too. So I non-revved, but the wife and the kids we actually had to take separate flights on the way out because it was full. And so I actually jump seated on a Frontier Airbus, a brand new Frontier Neo. My wife was on an American 738. And on the way back, we were on the same bird. So what am I looking for here? Reno. But yeah, no, Jeremy, it's non-revving with small children. Too much stress, man. Too much stress. I would rather just have the tickets in hand. Don't have to think about it. On my last flight, I asked not to be seated near children. My wife got mad at me and made me sit with my kids anyway. Well, Sean, it's funny. So when I checked in on the on our return flight last night, I checked in up front, and the captain's like, "Hey, you want to sit up front with us instead?" And I'm like, "You know what? I wouldn't mind. My family's in the back, but I may be left at the airport. I may not have a ride home." So I ended up sitting in the back. Anyway, but here we go. Let's get this loaded in here. Received weather data. Here we go. 330 at 310 miles clear. Beautiful day here in Reno. So since winds are only at 3 knots, let's do the juice departure 17 right, which is going to be with 3-knot tailwind, which is pretty spicy. Man, what did we file on that SID? It was the Zephyr. Yeah, because I filed Zephyr 9 Darby. It's much cooler to go straight out this way. Much more scenery. Zephyr 9 Darby. We'll put that in the box there. If the winds increase any, we're probably going to have to flip that around because it is really aggressive terrain. If you've been around the channel, you know I did the engine out scenario at Reno on stream. It's a wild one. And then not only that, but in my sim and recurrent, I actually did it again just this past month. Or what, 3 weeks ago, beginning of this month. No, yeah, August 1st, yeah. So, all right, we're coming down into San Diego, though, on the Comics 2 departure, 27 localizer. We'll do Comics 2, and I believe we're coming off the LAX transition. Now, we may have to figure out how we can divert. We're actually coming off the Holt transition, excuse me. There it is, so Holt transition, approach via Lindy, insert that. That looks good. Secondary. The secondary flight plan, extremely aggressive. We're not going to load it in the box here, but I'm just going to do Reno. If we have to come back, we're going to have a lot more issues. Let's just put 3.5 left in there because it is a 3-knot. We'll take the 3.5 if we have to come back for any reason. Approach information is all we care about on the secondary flight plan. Let's go ahead and put it... I don't even know what the baro is. Let's just do a quick mental math. Magic barrel ref check 3012 4440. So let's just say it's 4640 for the baro mins. Temperature off the ECAM is 19. It's warming up already. Geez, winds will zero them out. And 3012 in the box goes right here. Secondary's done. RadNav. Let's hard tune Reno. We'll take a look. Or no, it's not. We got to take a look at that. Take a look at this SID here because this one might actually need us to hard tune. I watched British Abdeep fly into Skardu. I think we need that way. Skardu. Oh, that's an airport I haven't heard of in a long time. Skardu. All right, coming out of here. It is RNAV. We really don't need anything hard tuned. I guess we'll leave it as is then. We're not going to hard tune anything. Zephyr 9 straight out to Darby. Okay, so we won't hard tune anything. Progress page, we will put KRNO though. Looks like we just got our alignment there. We got our compass spun around. Reno is set up. Perf data. We'll go to the init B page. We'll take a look at our fuel. We have 10,000. We're still fueling. So that's all good. We'll wait for the fueling to finish. We're still loading. Let's pull out our taxi chart here. Reno, ground 10.9. We'll star you. And what is the tower or Unicom? 18.7 is what we need. So let's make sure the radio is working. Yes, it is. So my SATEC radio panel is working. We'll do 18.7. We'll put you in the active spot. Beautiful. Unicom is up. We'll have terrain mode on. We can probably get rid of the dome light. I'll put it in dim mode for now. We'll take a look outside and we'll enjoy not having GSX loading bags. All right. Jose, good to see you. Jose, good to see you, man. I had a jump seat from Madrid to San Jose, Costa Rica yesterday. Or San Jose, Costa Rica, and had to leave my wife and 2 kids in Madrid. Vacation was ending, had to go back to work, 10-hour flight. Yeah. That's I've heard a lot of stories similar to that where people abroad trying to get back and, you know, families got to split up. And here's the thing. If my kids were older, then I'm sure that we'll probably be doing the same situation. What is that livery? But as of right now, with them being small, splitting up would be kind of a mess. What is this? We got a Spiritual Wangs over there. We got some busy. There's actually a couple people here. Got another Unknighted over there off the left. Mike P. Oh my gosh. $5 super chat to turn on alerts and bank angle checks. Oh my gosh. Mike P, I'm sorry, dude. Oh goodness. Mike P did drop a bank angle check. Let's go back here. Let me replay that, Mike.
Bank angle. Bank angle check. Bank angle.
Missed the last few leave. Here's to the new hardware.
Hey, Mike P, thank you so much for a massive $40 bank angle check, my man. I really appreciate that. Hey, we're glad to have you back on this live, man. This one should be good. I think you might enjoy this too as we dig into the Moza Force feedback situation. But really appreciate that massive $40 bank angle check and the $5 super chat to remind me to turn on the alert. So I apologize for that. Took a while, Mike. Thank you so much, man, for both those donations. Very kind of you. I really appreciate the information. I really appreciate the donation, and I always enjoy having you around on streams, man. Appreciate you. All right, we have a company Massagey. Let's take a look at that. That's going to be our load sheet. We'll accept that. We'll return you, and refueling is 12.3. What are we going up to? Let's take a look at our weights. We need 12.3. We need another 1,000 pounds, so it's almost done. Almost done. All right, she's loading up. What did Cloud Action ask? How it simulates a real thing? Okay, you got it? All right, I see we're talking to each other. All right, let's fire up the APU while we wait. We can fire up the APU while we're still fueling. That's all right. 12.8, and we'll get you going. We'll get this cabin cooled down at least. We'll get that going here. I think the next V1 stream should fly with. I think the next stream V1 should fly with an Xbox controller. I don't think so, Water. I'll save that for you, my man. We'll let this fire up, and then we'll start. We'll look at the Moza base here for a minute. Perfect colors on this United livery. Perfect blue. Oh, this is going to be really awesome when that sun pops up. That's going to look really good when that sun pops up. APU is available. Flaps open. Everything's up and running 100%. We'll go ahead and start the chrono. We'll give that 3 minutes before we get out of here. Let's take a look at our SID. Departure SID was the Zephyr. So we're going straight out to Darby 11-4. Takeoff obstacles. Okay, we know about all that good stuff. Can I put terrain? I guess I can't really put terrain mode on this. I'll tell you what, put this in daytime though. There we go. Daytime mode, and then we'll just leave you on the ground 10-9 for now. Alright, up and running. Jeremy, my old stick, well, the grip is still there. So let's take a look at the base for right now. So still using the FSprojects grip, which is the top here, the grip here. You see it's an Airbus grip, and it mounts directly to the base just like your Thrustmaster Warthog grip would, or maybe you have a Verpal grip. Same connection. It's that same little connection. So it mounted just fine to that, and I've got it mounted right now. I've got this base pseudo mounted on a plate and an MFG mount that's not really designed for it. So I'm trying to figure out mounting options. I'll talk about that first because this base is massive. That's going to be the only thing that you really need to consider when you're purchasing this base is how are you going to mount it, because it does need to be mounted. It's got a lot of force feedback. It's got a lot of force to it. It has a very strong force feedback if you set it up that direction, and it needs to be secure, and it also needs to be at the right height. So right now this is actually a little bit higher than I would like, but you can't see it, but it's probably, I know the dimensions are online, but it is a big piece of equipment. However, if you have that figured out, the rest of the Moza is just, it's awesome. It's where it needs to be. And if you remember, when I got my Brunner, I said, yeah, I'm really enjoying it. It's good, but the one thing I always said that was a negative was like, hey, I don't know what the future of this is going to be. The software that this uses is not the best. I wouldn't say the best. It just seemed kind of outdated and clunky, and the support really isn't there for Microsoft Sim users. So I was hoping that there would be a company to come out and capture the force feedback market, and who other than Moza, who already has a huge presence in racing. So they have a lot of experience with force feedback in racing wheels. Now they're breaking into the flight simulator market, and it's absolutely fantastic. And you can see here, when I move the stick, it's basically the real thing. I mean, I said that before with the Brunner. I was like, hey, I can't tell the difference. I can't tell the difference with this either. Now, the only difference really is because it's a little bit higher. I need to get it lower, but I'm sure I'll be able to fix that here with a different mounting solution. But it is extremely smooth, and I'm going to show you guys when we get to cruise all of the different parameters that you can set up with this software. The software for this is really, really easy to work with. The CLS to Sim software that I use on the Brunner setup, it's much more, it's a little bit finicky, but it's much more, what's the word I'm looking for? I guess analog. So you're dealing with graphs and charts, where this, you're dealing with sliders, and there are some graphs and charts, but you're mostly, if you just want to set up a basic profile and run with it, you can use sliders, and that's it. You just move the sliders where you want it. It adjusts the forces and the tensions in real time with the software, and then you're good to go. So that is a massive, massive step up from what I was dealing with my other hardware that had force feedback. Now, why are you asking? Why would a lot of people are going to ask? Why would you why would you use force feedback with an Airbus side stick? Because the Airbus side stick, there is no force feedback. It is always the same, and that is true. It's always the same load on the stick, whether you're going 120 knots or 330 knots. The side stick feels the same. There's no change. However, a real Airbus side stick, if you ever felt one in real life, you ever stepped in the cockpit, felt it, or maybe you've been into a simulator, it is unlike anything that we really have on the market as far as flight simmers are concerned. However, you can get close. Like I said, I made that video, the side stick video, where I was trying different bases and everything. You can get close with springs and cams and things of that nature. But if you want to go all out, this is where you go, because you can literally set the tension up to be exactly what the tension would be in the real airplane on your side stick. Then if you're going to use this for anything else, maybe you fly Digital Combat Simulator, maybe you fly other aircraft that do have true force feedback. So let's say you have you want to fly a Cirrus piston, okay, and that obviously, as you go faster, what's going to happen to your controls? They're going to get stiffer. That's all going to be simulated through here and through the effects page. And I'm going to kind of stop that little introduction right now, because I'm going to show you, it'll be easier if I just show you that live in real time when we're flying. So I'm going to show you all the effects, all the different things that you can tune with this when we get up to cruise altitude. But it looks like we're done fueling, so I'm going to go ahead and get the pumps on. We're going to finish loading up the airplane. But if you're on the fence, say you're on the fence for just a base, you have a grip, maybe you've got the A10 Warthog, or I'm sorry, well, it's really an F-16 grip, but it was a Thrustmaster Warthog. It was designed for the A10 Warthog. It's like probably the OG side stick. Anybody that flew DCS or lock-on, everybody knows what the Thrustmaster Warthog HOTAS was all about. It was the first full metal grip and throttle combo. If you have that grip and maybe you're just trying to upgrade your base, that grip will fit right onto this base, and now you have force feedback that you can tailor to anything from an F-14 to a Huey. You know, you can literally tailor the base from anything. You only need one piece of equipment to cover all those different ranges. So I'm going to stop that conversation for now, because I really want to save that for cruise. But if you're, like I said, if you're on the fence about it, it's I really don't have any negative things to say about it yet. Now, I'm still new. I'm still getting used to this hardware and software. The only thing that I say, I wouldn't even call it a negative. It's just you have to be aware of its size. So you have to have a proper mounting solution. Once you get that figured out, I haven't ran into anything yet where I'm like, well, that's game breaking for this, or that's game breaking for this. It has not occurred yet. So, and we're going to go through that a little bit more. So I did miss a 10 gifted membership though from Kyle Lewis. Kyle Lewis, I really appreciate the 10 gifted memberships you dropped here on the channel, man. Very kind of you. Appreciate that. If you pick up a membership from Kyle Lewis, make sure you shout him out and say thank you. I do appreciate that, my friend. All right. We're all good there with 3 minutes. Let's go ahead and go APU bleed on. External power's coming off. We'll get the fuel tank pumps on. We will also get the seatbelt sign on, and we will send our final fuel number. We're 13.7. We'll put 13.7 down here in the block fuel. We'll go to the fuel page. That is balanced and on board. Seatbelt signs are on. You can hear the fuel tank pumps. Oh, we missed the sun coming up. Oh, no, we didn't. Perfect. Here we go. We're going to enjoy this. Watch this. I'm going to reset the drone cam. Oh, yeah. This is going to be the shot, chat. This is going to be... We're going to watch this sun pop up here. I know we'll be ready to go. We still got about 30 people to load up. AJ, thanks for the 21 months of support, dude. After seeing the pic circulating recently and looking at that Sidestick pedestal, now knowing what most of it is taken up by the dampening system. Ah, AJ, really? So it is the dampening. And I'll show you... So there's a straight up dampening adjustment slider, which is really cool. So I can make this side stick act like a regular spring side stick if you wanted to. You just turn the dampening off. But yeah, it's really neat. I'm gonna show you. We'll show you here in a minute, AJ. Shaq Oatmeal in the house. Good to see you, man. Just passed my stage check for commercial. Oh, buddy, off to time building phase cross country till I'm blue in the face. Shaq Oatmeal, awesome stuff, dude. Awesome stuff. Hey, you should do a cross-country down to Texas, my man. You'll build a lot of time. You'll build a lot of time. Fly on down to Texas. And then we'll cook some barbecue for you and you can fly back. That's awesome, dude. Hey, I'm actually going to be... I think I might actually be in your neck of the woods next month, dude. I'll hit you up. I got to double check. I was adjusting my schedule for next month. But I'll hit you up, man. I'd love to catch up with you. But that's awesome, dude. The time building phase, it's fun, dude. It's fun. It may seem like a grind, but getting out there on your own and just going and doing flights, it's a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun. Oh, the real stick, AJ. Oh, you mean the massive... Oh, yes. Well, that makes sense, yeah. Yeah, the real Airbus side stick is about the size, if you take it out of the console of the Airbus, it's about the size of a computer tower. Just the base of the real grip, with all the dampeners and things. Should I buy FSprojects side stick with the HOTAS base? Slothies, if you want an Airbus side stick grip, I recommend none other than FSprojects, and it's been good to me. I've been using this one hard for... what, 3 years now? 0 issues. Now, I did hear that there's something new on the horizon with FSprojects, so more information to be determined at a later date, but there is something new that I've been told. Sipping on coffee, love the smell of aviation fuel in the morning. Mad Max. It's getting that time, my man. It's getting that time where the mornings are going to start to get crisper. Well, not in Texas. It's like 95 degrees by 9 a.m. And last night when we were driving home, it was 10:15, and it was 94 degrees outside. So not in Texas, but in the next month or so, I can't wait for it, man. Cool, brisk mornings, a hot coffee, and the smell of Jet A wafting through the cabin. Can't beat that, man. It's becoming my favorite time of the year to fly. Although I may not fly next month just because I'm kind of burnt out. We'll see. What's that in proper temps? I don't know. I don't know what 94 Fahrenheit is in proper temps. Vodka, you're an American. Look up the proper temp. Just joined. What are we flying today? Thomas, we're in the Fenix A320, and we are just about ready to go. Sun is rising. Boarding is almost done. Let me go to perf takeoff data. Let's sync the final 17 left, dry. I guess we'll sync the prelim. We'll sync the live weather. Force Toga, yes. Packs on. Calculate. Let's just see what kind of numbers we get. Flaps, so it gives you flaps 1, 27, 27, 28. That looks like it's going to be right. We'll wait for the final. Someone's lining up 17 left. Ooh, there we go. There's the shot. Almost done. Got the mismatch cowling out here. Gotta love it. 34 degrees C. 34 in proper temps. There you go. Does the base have an option for a twist axis, or are rudder pedals needed? Cloud action. I will tell you this. I just saw something on the website. You can click the link at the top. That's going to bring you right to the Moza AB9 base. But I saw something, as of right now, no, it does not have twist. But I thought I saw a piece of hardware that it looked like it had the Z-axis module. Yaw control. It does have an option. I'll post this link for you, Cloud Action, because I just ran into this. I don't have this because I'm also running. I have my own rudder pedals. But for those that want a twist axis, take a look at this. I was browsing the website before the stream went live, and this is something that's interesting and I've never seen before when it comes to force feedback side sticks, and that's the Z-axis module, which could really be pretty interesting. I mean, because now you can have your whole setup, rudder pedals included, and force feedback with a side stick. So that's the Z-axis module link there. I put it there if you want to check that stuff out, if that's of interest to you. But yeah, long range and self-centering capability. Z-axis module. That's pretty neat. So I'll post that link for you there. You can check it out. Oh, look at that United taking off 17. Yeah, buddy. Kyle, speaking of tillers, Team Vodka is going to love this one. Speaking of tillers, chat, tomorrow, I have to go get my medical, but I'm thinking I'm going to stream after my medical tomorrow, and I've got a surprise. Another one. How long did it take to receive a Throttletek Quadrant? Quite a while, AJ, quite a while. It takes quite a while since there's it's basically built to order. So, it takes a minute. Are we done? We are 72, almost. 4 more people. All right, everything else is done. We got that on. I tell you what we can do. Let's go ahead and go to the ground ceviches. We'll close up the cargos. We'll close up that. We'll get rid of the aft stairs. We'll get rid of the GPU. We'll leave the cones and chocks for now. But we are just about ready to blast off. Just about 2 more people. What's up, Luke? DJ V1 in the house? What's up, man? I'm gone tomorrow after 3. Well, that's probably when I'll stream, so joke's on you. Well, actually, Cowboys don't play till tomorrow night late at 9 p.m., so I think we'll be all right. Is Cat 3 Design still making tillers? They are, Jeremy. They are. They've also reduced the price because now they're making everything here in the U.S., and the Boeing tillers are now in stock and available for pre-ordering. I know that had been out of stock for quite a while. And if you want, I'll give you a little hint. If you want to see something juicy tomorrow, tune in when we go live. All right, we are loaded up. I'm going to send to McDo. Let's go to here, sync the final. We'll recalculate that. Let's come down here. We got our numbers 31, 31. That looks good. Perf speeds. We'll come over here. 39, 39, 40 flaps 1. So we'll send that. That's with Force Toga, yes. All right, we'll go ahead and send those numbers in. 17 right, 39, 39, 40. Everything looks good. Let's go ahead and close up shop. Get out of here. Let's go ahead and get the beacon on. Let's go ahead and get rid of the jetway. Get out of here. Let's connect the tug. We'll close up the doors. Toggle the jetway. And push out. Where does one get the Airbus flight stick? The Airbus flight stick? You mean the Flight Sim Project side stick? That's on the flightsimprojects.com. I'm pretty sure there's a link in the description. one left is closed. All right, let's go ahead and make our radio call. Reno traffic, United 357. We're going to be pushing back here off, I don't know, gate 12. We'll go on 17 right, Reno. All right, tug is not connected, almost connected. Jetway is right in front of the nose. P1 doesn't believe in CFMs? No, CFMs are weak. We don't use CFMs around here. Ain't nobody got time for CFMs. AMEs are pilot hunters. They hunt big games. They hunt big game major pilots. They can be, that's for sure, Shaq. They can be. Alright, cams are up. Brakes are released. We got a company massage. We'll get to that. Let's go ahead and start straight back. Let's come over here. Final load sheet. Mr. Plane, is your first time ever watching? Well, welcome on board, my friend. You're in for a special treat today because I'm going to show you some stuff that not seen before on this channel with our Moza Flight Sim base. Anti-cooperative, can you connect the Project Flight Sim Site 6 to the Moza? Yes. You do not need an adapter as long as you have the Thrustmaster version. I believe Flight Sim Projects made 2 versions of the base. One was for VKB and one for Thrustmaster? If you have the Thrustmaster one, it will fit. It's the same connecting pin as the Thrustmaster and Verpal. I think the VKB is the different one. Jojo Beans, press the link at the top of the chat, man. That'll take you right to the AB9 base. It is available for pre-order right now. I see XP7 getting one because of he was the most. Yes, Swimming Club, absolutely Swimming Club. I think XP would love once. I mean, I think he already messed with it at Expo, didn't he? I think he already messed with it at Expo. Once you know what an Airbus side stick feels like, it's really hard to use other side sticks because it is such a unique, dampened, smooth feel that while we can get close with springs and cams, it's not exact. It's because it's not a spring and cam. It's a really sophisticated side stick in the real thing. So using force feedback gets you really, I mean, I can't even tell the difference, honestly. All right, I'll put that in the captain switch. All right, let's go ahead and start them up. Everything's on. Let's go here. We'll go over here. Let's do an internal start. I tell you what, let's do an outside start today. We haven't done an outside start in a while. Let's do an outside external air, or not external. Let's go right here. Start in 1. Shh. So good. You can hear that blue electric kick on when that engine spooled up. Got to love it. A couple super chats here. Lucas Bunkton, thanks for the 5 rupee super chat, man. Appreciate you. I was pretty stoked to start my glider pilot lessons, but I'm scared of my medical because I have ADHD. Hey, man, don't worry about that. For a glider pilot, well, it depends on what country you're in, man. There's definitely some different avenues you can take, but tread lightly when you go to the examiner, and there are options you can take if you're just getting. I think you only need like a class 3. I'm not sure what the stipulations are in your country for that, but hopefully you can get it passed and get on with it. Rastik also gifted 10 memberships, man. Really appreciate you, Rastik. Thanks for the 10 gifted memberships. If you pick up from Rastik, make sure you shout him out and say thank you. Let's go ahead and crank number 2 here. PTU is going off. Thanks again, Rastik, for that massive $10 gifted 10 gifted membership. Gosh, I love it, man. Phoenix startup sounds are pretty much unbeatable. All right, we got 2 Avail lights. Fly-by-wire is pretty darn close. I don't know. I don't know, man. I love it. I just love Airbus. I was on a 320 Neo yesterday, brand new one. Juicy. All right, we got 2 good starts. Let's come here. Arm emergency light, or arm. Golly, I'm just all over the place. Flaps 1. I'm just gonna shut up. Alright, that all looks good. Let's get the APU bleed off. APU master switch coming off. Didn't mean to click that. Did we have a trim? What was our trim there? It was 0.4 down. So we'll do 0.4. Flight control check while we're looking at it. Full up. Full down. Neutral. Full left. Full right. Neutral. Rudder. Full left. Full right. Neutral. That all looks good. Let's come over here. We'll go auto brakes max. Takeoff config is checked. Get rid of you. Boom, boom. On there. Ooh, we do have a squawk code. Hold on. We need to squawk 3743. 3743 will turn you on. Looking good. Reno traffic. United 357 taxi 17 right. Reno. Brakes release. Taxi light coming on. External cam. Let's go. Gosh, that looks so good. Tulip! Joe Plains, good to see you, man. Yeah, we got the tulip livery. I'm sure you can appreciate a good tulip. And this is the juice tulip, too. It's got the perfect little, the perfect tulip on the tail. The individual lines. I can't imagine how long that must have taken. What was I going to do here? I was going to do something here. I was going to turn the cabin lights off for departure. So let's come here. No, let's just go here, here. Cabin announcements, cabin lights. We'll go back to our. Hey. There's a spiritual wangs. Do you like the new radio panel with the numeric keypad? You know what, Jeremy? Yeah, I do. It is, I don't know, yes and no. Sometimes I do, sometimes I don't. It's really, it is easier to just type in the frequency than to scroll it, but I don't know. It's just so much glass, man. It's not like a game-changing update. So many great livery creators. There are, Diabetic Lads. Silky. Yeah, this one's Silky Smooth. Whiskey Throttle, Javiation, Ethereum. Yeah, there's a ton of them, man. There's a ton of good ones. I know Whiskey has cranked out some fantastic MD-11 liveries. I'm still waiting. I really want to fly MD-11, give it another shot, but we haven't had... I don't know why we don't have an FT-Sim sound pack yet for the MD-11. But there you go. Now you can really see the tail in the sun. Oh, Mr. Spiritual Wang's racing me down the runway here. What's up with that? I need to turn up my VATSIM. I could barely hear that guy. My Aveo Premium. Hey, Aaron! Good to see you, man. I saw you check in earlier. I don't remember what you said. What's going on, dude? Good to see you. Excited for the 19? Oh, yeah. Oh, dude, of course they poured a lot of authenticity into it, man. Authenticious. What was that movie from? Like the Boston bank robbery movie? That was a hilarious scene. Alright, I guess he's giving way. Reno traffic, United 357 departing 17 right straight out to the southeast, Reno traffic. Alright, let's light them up and get out of here. So when I checked in last night, I noticed when the plane got to the gate, it had the strobes on. I was like, maybe they're doing maintenance or something. Never shut them off. So when I checked in up front, it's like, hey, Cap, I'm so-and-so, blah, blah, blah. Do all our credential checks. I was like, by the way, your strobes are on. Left the strobes on all the way from the last landing. All right, we're lined up. We are ready to go. Who's ready for max juice? We might just have to do it from this view right here, because that just looks too dang good. Reno traffic, United 357 departing runway 17 right, Reno. Spool them up 50. Get those yogas in chats. Let's go. Oh, I love it. I love it. Mantoga SRS runway auto thrust blue. Thrust set. Auto knots check.
Reno traffic, fairly similar for it, and for wait 17 right.
V1. Rotate. Positive right, gear up, fly with. Golly. Oh my gosh, that is so good. Let's get on the flight directors here. It's pretty much a straight out departure. So juice. That mountain right there is a problem when you're doing a single engine off 1.7. Got to make that turn around. And then you basically cut in between these mountains over here. Do a little wing dip here. A little wing rock for sun reflection. Gosh. All right, we need to go to lever climb. Let's do a wing view thrust reduction. Whew, buddy. There's SB, flaps a 0. We'll get back on it. Let's go. Oh, we never set a top altitude. Let's pull for open. Thrust climb, open climb. We'll go all the way up to 350. 35 is blue. We'll get back on the SID. And then I'm just going to, small corrections. Just basically fly my hand on the base like that. Love it. 250 knots. The constraint mode up at or above 9,200. We'll see. Let's come up to 10 degrees here. 10 and 250. It says we'll make it. Let's see. I think we will. Gosh, I love those IAEs. I love that mismatched cowling too. Love that mismatched cowling. Yep, there's 9,200 feet. We're clear of that. We're virtually straight out. Basically, stay on this heading all the way to San Diego. Let's go autopilot 1. Autopilot 1's coming on. We'll get these lights off. Out we go. enjoy this for a minute. When doing thrust reduction climb Toga, do you gradually put an MCT? Then yes, Tyler. So the reason here's the thing: you don't have to. You can go straight to climb, but it scares the heck out of a lot of people that don't know how to, that haven't been on airplanes. Because especially if you're doing a low flex or a Toga takeoff, there is a large discrepancy between your takeoff thrust and your climb thrust. Now, if you are just flexing all the time and being super lame in flight sim using flex numbers, you're probably actually taking off with, depending on the environmentals, your climb thrust. So there will be little to none on the sound change from flex to climb. Now, like I said, if you have a very low flex and you have a higher thrust setting and your climb is different, then you will hear that audible pitch change. Now, especially Toga to climb, if you don't pause, and so it sounds like your engine's rolled back on you. If you're, so it can make passengers nervous. So one thing to note, and this is a big reason why I had a problem with the Thrustmaster throttle. So I'm going to turn everything down a little bit here. Where's my audio? So the reason I had an issue with the TCA thrust levers from Thrustmaster, this is an active thrust range here. Between flex and climb, this is not just a detent. Like, you can actually move and use thrust in between here. Okay, on the TCA, that's just click to click. There's no actual gap. Now, flex to Toga is just a click. There is no active thrust range. But if you're reducing to climb, yeah, go nice and slow, bring it back. Do you have to? No, the FADEC will take care of the engine speed and the acceleration and deceleration of the engine. But like I said, for passenger comfort, it's easier to just wind it back nice and slow. But that's why I love the Throttletek, because you actually have that thrust range there if you need it. If you're hand flying or whatnot, not that you really need anything more than climb thrust when you're hand flying. But it is an active thrust range, and there is a gap between climb and flex. I learned the other day that there was a Pratt & Whitney option on the 18th True Baby bus. So weird looking, almost like an IE, but just a little off. Really zippy. I'd have to take a look at that, see what it looks like. I'm sure I've seen it, I just don't really remember. I haven't seen a 318 in forever, man. I want to say Frontier was the last North American operator to have 318s. I think they were the last ones. I like the long flex rules. Well, that's the trade-off. If you have a high flex, then you're going to have a much longer takeoff roll. Is there a reason why you won't use FS realistic anymore? Yeah, because I don't find it very realistic in airliner flying. Now, if I was strictly flying GA, then yeah. I mean, there's some touchdown effects that you can add, but the main reason I stopped from the get-go airplanes in Finland is because initially when the Fenix was out, there were some issues with it changing the way the airplane flew. Or I don't know. There was a conflict at one point between the Fenix and FS Realistic, and then after that I said it's not worth it, uninstalling you forever, and that was it. I made some profiles on FS Realistic on the early versions, but I don't really need it. The airplane, when you land, I know the big one is like the landing effects, right? Oh, there's 18 that set standards, STDs for you, me, and Zippy. When you land, the dash doesn't really bounce. I mean, because you have to think about it from, you're strapped in, right? You're in your body. Unless you really slam it down and like you actually start physically moving your seat, this doesn't like start shaking and moving around on you. Now, in props and GA aircraft, it is a nice touch. I will say, especially on startup, when you start up your engines and you get the airplane vibration, that is pretty neat. But for airliner flying, which is what I mostly do all the time in Microsoft, I said I don't want anything else running in the background. I like my sim as clean as possible. That's why I don't use real turbulence or anything like that either. I just default sim. I'll buy airports and airplanes. Everything else is pretty darn good. But if I was an exclusive GA flyer, then I would have probably FS Realistic. Frontier had 18s. Yeah, they had 18s. I know they had 18s, yeah. I think they were the last ones to have them. This is a good question. Why is there sometimes runway on the FMA? It has to do with, that's a good question. I was going to answer that. So if you have an ILS approach, or let me rephrase that. If you have a localizer for the approach on that runway, then you will get runway. If you do not have a localizer signal, then you won't get runway because it can't track the runway course because it doesn't have a localizer to track. You see, it has to do with the approaches going back into that runway you're departing from. So you might just get Manflex SRS auto thrust blue if you're taking off from an airport that has no localizer antenna on that runway. If there is a localizer antenna on that runway, you should get Manflex, Mantoga, SRS runway. And then, because it has to be able to track something. And you'll see that when you go down to your RadNav before you take off. You should see, at least in the real airplane, you'll see the ILS frequency is already tuned in for that runway you're departing on. Sometimes, depending on the airport, if there's an engine out procedure, that like in Vegas, that you can track the DME off of the localizer, you'll hard tune the localizer frequency so it won't change on you. Or like ILAS, you can hard tune it. But then you can also get discrepancy errors if the FO doesn't tune his or hers or what have you. But yeah, it has to do with the local. Do you keep the Fenix Sidestick dampening simulation off? No, I keep dampening on, Jeremy. Keep dampening on. I'm gonna we're gonna talk all about that. I'm gonna show you guys here with the software, which is gonna be, it's probably one of the best parts about this, and what I'm most excited for about this is how intuitive the software is that runs it. So let's get up to cruise first. We'll enjoy a couple of views here as our climb out. I'll leave the Mosa cam on so you can enjoy this. I don't know, I just like touching it here. It's nice. Yeah, and when I put the gator, where's my gator at? I think I have it over on the other side. But when you put the rubber gator on, if you own it, I mean, it's just beautiful. It covers it up perfectly. But I was noticing that when I had the gator on, I was trying to do the calibrations. I didn't know if it was going to affect the calibration at all, so I took everything off and just had it run with the straight base. I posted a pic of the 318s in general. All right, I'll check them out soon. We need a Portland V2? Yes. New terminal, and the first one looks outdated. I haven't been up to the Portland in a while, Shakovic, but yeah. Rayman in the house. Good to see you, man. Do you use add-on manager? You mean add-on linker? I downloaded it, but I haven't got it running yet. I really haven't had time. But I don't really have any add-ons except sceneries, a few sceneries. So I do want to get add-on linker running. I downloaded it, but I haven't taken the time to set it up yet. I know you do, BombTech. Oh, this is my... No, that's all you, man. XP Realistic is more camera-oriented with your own eyes. You do not see that. Your eyes and brain automatically composite for all the bumps and shakes. Yeah, they compensate, yes. Yeah, Johan, you're right. Yeah, it's more of a camera thing. Yeah, Diabetic Lad, I need to. I have a question. Do you do liveries in add-on linker? Or is it just sceneries? And other things? Because you put liveries in add-on linker, right? Or you put liveries in your community folder. So would that go in add-on linker as well? You do everything, Captain AB? Interesting. I got to get it up and running. I even bought a new SSD. I bought what is that? 870. I have another 2 terabyte SSD that I'm waiting to install, but this is a real boomer moment for me. I don't know where to put my SSD because my computer is so clean. I got my old PC that I built from the ground up and rebuilt it 2 or 3 times. I knew where everything was. Now I'm like, I don't even know where to plug this drive in. There's like no drive areas, and the drive I have is NVMe in there right now. So I don't know. I'm going to have to seek help in the technical section of our Discord so I could figure out where to plug in this SSD. Flew on a baby bus from Jax to O'Hare the other day. Much quicker to plane and deplane. Oh yeah, right, man. May you turn the sim sounds? Okay, yeah, let me turn the sim sounds down. That's right, we had them up for takeoff and stuff. There we go, sim sounds are down. Hopefully that's a little bit better. They do seem extra loud today. Why are the sim sounds extra loud today? I swear, I don't know. I mean, I use the volume mixer on the... on Windows. Hold on. Interesting. All right. Hopefully that's a little bit better. Nice to see you back in a real cockpit again. Hey, don't get used to it, Airbus Geek. We're going to be back in the 7.2 hopefully this weekend. I can't wait to do some 7.2 again. I've been itching. That new update on the 727 as well. Now, what would be interesting if I might set up a 727 profile. Matter of fact, I might do that. I might try to fly this with the 727 just to see. Thrust Set's in the house. Good to see you, man. How you doing, Thrust Set? I create presets based on scenery, regions, and take each aircraft add-on so you can easily toggle them. That's a good idea, Kyle Lewis. They only load what you need to load. I thought SDS would be redundant if you had force feedback. Yes, SDS is redundant, Jeremy. So I have SDS off, at least I should, for my settings. Yeah, SDS is off. So if you have force feedback or a control loading device, then yes, you want your SDS off and rudder. Well, for some reason, I have a hard time tracking the centerline with rudder damping on. So my rudders have their own dampeners. I have the MFG crosswinds, so I just turn that off, and I feel like it's a little bit easier to control centerline. But SDS with this stick is now off for me. I'll leave that here, because we're going to get all into how to set this up. This side stick up once we get to cruise. We won't have a super long cruise, but it'll be perfect enough to where we can. I'm going to bring up the software. I'm going to show you all of the things that it can do and how easy it is to set up. That was the biggest challenge for me with CLS to sim using Brunner, is getting it to work and having it not be finicky and dialing it in. There was a lot of input delay when you set up your Brunner. This is completely different. This is new and next gen, and it's basically like comparing X-Plane 10 to Microsoft Flight Sim. That would be how I compare it. I mean, the X-Plane 10 was good. It has good flight dynamics. The Brunner's good. It has a good feel. I love the Brunner yoke. I still have the Brunner yoke. I really, really, really hope Moza for Flight Sim Expo 2025 has a yoke, because I think Moza is in perfect position to capture the force feedback market. I really do. Matthew Chitto, take it easy, man. But yeah, didn't they get a gravel? Yes, there is a gravel kit for the 7.2, Brian, that they added. It was, I think it goes on the nose gear, and a couple other fixes and updates that I really want to take a look at. Hey, Rod, did you check out the map enhancement? I did not, dude. Yeah, right after that stream, I literally Alt F4 packed up and we went on vacation. So I've been gone for the last week and haven't done anything sim related. I'd like a Moza yoke next week, please. I know, that would be nice. Any plans to play DCS? Yes, Swarm. I'll have some videos. I'm actually going to make some videos with this, with the other grips, because I'm going to show you how easy it is to set up different grips and everything on this. Matter of fact, I think I have my purple grip. Give me a second, guys. I'll be right back. You have control. Don't touch anything. Bomb Tech, don't touch the door. I'll be right back. I want to get this other grip out real quick. This will be good for showing you guys what I'm talking about. Grip-wise connector. See if I can show you. Can you see that? Hold on. Can you see that connection style? So that's like a Thrustmaster pin setup. This is my, what is this? This is my VPC Constellation that I have. I used to fly the Apache on this a lot with the VPC Constellation grip. You can click that thing right in there as well. It hooks in just as seamlessly as well. But it's that style of connector pin. Put that over there for now. Is your airline still hiring pilots? No, I don't know anybody that's hiring right now other than a couple of regionals, my man. It's kind of wild. All right, we're level at 350. Seatbelt sign is off. No more chit chat. Let's get in. This is what we need to get into here. Looks like we got some controllers online as well. So, you guys already know the intro about the Moza. Talked about it. Setting it up for Microsoft Flight Sim for the Airbus specifically, just because I have this page open. If you do order one and it does show up, make sure you turn SDS off. It will mess with your stick if you have that on. So turn that off, and let's show you guys the juice. All right, so I'm going to pull this up and pull this up right here. Ta-da! So let's go to the home page. Pretty sure I can show this because yeah, this is all out now. Now this is still like pre-release, and I want to just take a minute before we dive into this. I was never sponsored by Brunner. Brunner never sent me anything. I messaged them. I said, hey, I'm interested in force feedback. Do you want to partner with the channel? Anything like that. Never heard anything back. Didn't matter. I wanted force feedback. I purchased my own Brunner products. Like I said, I never really had anything bad to say about Brunner other than I had questions about the long-term support, because the near-term support was pretty much non-existent, and their market doesn't really seem to be Microsoft Flight Sim users. It's more like home cockpit builders, flight schools, things like that. So they weren't really focused on us as simmers and the mass, I guess call it gamer category. And also their prices were very, very steep. This AB9 base here that we're going to talk about is 550 US, I believe, which is a third of what the Brunner base is. So, yeah, big difference there. And then the other big drawback about Brunner was CLS to sim and how to set that up. But this is much more intuitive. This is the Mosa Cockpit software that you'll download when you get an AB9 base. You have your different grips. Now I don't have the MH16 grip. Wasn't sure if they had any. I'm not sure if their Mosa was going to send any my way to check out, but they did send me the base. And again, I was going to reach out to Mosa anyway because I thought, hey, after Flight Sim Expo, someone's doing force feedback. I think force feedback can be and is going to be the future of Flight Sim. Just look at racing, and then Mosa they actually reached out to me, and I was very thankful for that, and they sent me this base and everything. But everything that you're hearing me talk about is, I'm not paid to say it, and it's my own opinion, and I'm very excited about it. So once you get into the AB9 base selector here, it brings you to a couple of different options and tabs. And I'm going to be recording different videos on this and how to set this up. But what I just want to show you is how easy things are to change. So I guess I probably shouldn't have done this in flight, but spring tension. So if you want to make this seem like you want it to spring back, you would go to 100. If you didn't want it to spring back, you'd go to 0. And what would happen with your side stick, I wonder if I can move it. It's going to disconnect in the sim, won't it? Yeah, it'll disconnect in the sim. But this would be like for helicopter flying. Let's see if I can cheat a little bit. I'll just move it to the left a little bit. See how it stays there? And it comes back. I can move it out there. And then I can bring spring tension on. See how it snaps back. So it's instant real-time feedback of the settings that you are setting up. So you have torque output. This one, I can't convert. I think this is an early version of this, or maybe that'll be a bug. Maybe that'll get ironed out in an update. Not sure what that is. It's all in Chinese. I can't read it. But it has to do with the force, because when I adjust this slider, I can feel the forcing change in the stick. So it does something. I can't quite read that. Spring tension, we talked about that. Dampener, the dampening effect for the stick. And each one of these has a little info tab, and you can read it. It tells you what it does. But this is a huge portion of this, being able to adjust the damper on the fly. You have inertia sliders, friction sliders. You have game force feedback intensity. That is going to be for when you're flying maybe like DCS or other simulations that are going to be a lot more demanding on your stick. So you want to have greater force. You're flying airplanes that aren't fly-by-wire. This is going to be big when we get into DCS. I'll talk about that later. And these are under basic settings. Now there is basic, there is telemetry for the force feedback, and this is where you'd be like, what? So I have all of this off right now because I'm flying an Airbus A320 where it doesn't have anything. But let's just go through the list of what we have here. G-force effects. You can set your own curves, minimum and maximum G's felt. I'm going to turn that off. Your stall buffet. So if you want to create a stall buffet so you can feel the actual buffet of the airplane stalling, you can base it on angle of attack in degrees, the frequency in which it buffets, the actual angle of attack itself that the stall happens. You can set instantly. Now you don't feel any of that in the Airbus, so I have that off for now. Weapon delivery, you can feel gun vibrations, weapon release, weapon effects direction, and it's instantaneously changing. So if your weapon release, let's look at a better one, a gun firing vibration. Say you're flying the A-10 Warthog in DCS and you pull the trigger, you want to feel that vibration, you can instantly set how hard or how soft that vibration is going to be when you pull the trigger on your gun. And everything that you change here in the app is instantly transferred to the base, and you can feel the difference, so you can adjust it on the fly. With CLS to Sim, when I was working with the Bruner, in order to get to the manager, you'd have to go to the Profile Manager tab, which would then basically unlock your or lock your device out, go into a graph chart situation, go to the Effects tab, fiddle with it, apply the changes, lock your stick out a little for another couple seconds, then the changes would take effect, and then you would have to test it. So it makes making a profile very tedious and sometimes buggy. Sometimes the software would stop working altogether. You'd have to close it, reopen it. And the CLS to Sim software, albeit powerful, it is definitely outdated when you look at it in terms like comparison to this. This is a very modern, a very sleek presentation. It's easy to do. You don't have to work in newtons or kilogram force or anything like that. It's based on percentages and sliders. So that is huge. Elevator droop. This would be for, let's say you're flying the Piston Dukes, or even better, you have a King Air A350 profile. That yoke is going to be pulled forward by the elevator weight. You can set that up right here, how much force you want it to take into effect. Canopy hatch, you get into damages. I'm just going to read these off. I'm not going to go through each one of them because there's a ton of them, but I'm just going to read them off. Maximum deceleration force, flat motion, gear buffet, gear motion, ground vibration, speed brake buffet. This would be pretty cool for flying yoke-driven aircraft. Speed brake motion, or I say yoke-driven aircraft that don't have a dedicated, you know what? Well, you don't really feel the speed brake. I'm going to turn that on just for testing purposes. You don't feel anything in the Airbus side stick in real life, but your butt vibrates when the speed brakes come out. So I'm going to turn that on just to see if we notice anything on the approach. Simulates aerodynamic buffet or vibration experienced by an aircraft when deploying speed brakes. I'm going to turn it on just for fun. Speed brake motion, so spoiler buffet, spoiler motion, and turbulence. Turbulence would be another big one. That is something, look how easy this is, Team Vodka. Turbulence, 0 to 100%. Simulates vibration effects on the aircraft during flight caused by unstable air currents. Where in the CLS to Sim software, it was you had to set a minimum and a maximum, and is it edgy or not edgy? It just was much more painstaking to get through. This is much easier. Okay, so that's just general effects, y'all. That's just general. Propeller aircraft specific effects. Propeller rumble. AOA effect max force. Speed sensitivity of control force. This is the big one for force feedback or not non-force feedback, non-fly-by-wire aircraft. As the aircraft speed increases, greater force is required to return the joystick to the neutral position. This is due to the increased aerodynamic and inertial forces that affect the joystick centering force as the aircraft speed rises. You can turn that on. Maybe you're flying P-51, doing some Fokker Wolf flying around in DCS. All right there. Moving over to the jet-specific effects, afterburner rumble, jet engine rumble, AOA reduction max force, speed sensitivity of control force, so same thing but in a jet. So if you're flying a jet that has scaling, which some of them do, like we talked about, the Embraer 190 has the artificial feel units that will artificially increase the forces on the yoke to help you understand how fast, or you can kind of relate how fast you're flying with the control column, even though it's an artificial feel. So you can't just like move the yoke with your pinky finger at 300 knots that as you would be able to do it on the ground when you're not moving. So you can simulate that through this effect tab. And then they have helicopter specific effects, which I have on. We're obviously not in helicopter right now, so I don't have to worry about this, but a vortex ring state, ETL, heli engine rotor rumble, overspeed vibrations. This is going to be of real interest to me when we start. I'm going to make a video in DCS, and I might even use that Takeoff's hanger. I have that on my other PC of using the force feedback with that. I'd be curious to see how it works with this one here in Microsoft Flight Simulator. But they have a whole setup of helicopter effects. Are there any pre-configured profiles for specific planes prepared by real pilots of these planes? Can they be downloaded somewhere? I'm going to get to that. I'll get to that cloud action. But yes, you can create specific profiles. I'm actually working on one right now. Let me show you. Oh, you can't see it, but I have my profiles. You can't see the file that I open up. But yes, right here. Browse presets, export presets, or import presets. Now, there's also some other games. I haven't messed with this. DCS World Steam Edition, Star Citizen, X-Plane 12. I guess if you download presets for these games, perhaps, maybe that's where they can show up. But right now, I'm working on so when I save it, I export my preset to just a folder on my computer, and then you can import it. Now, let me see how big it is, actually. It's 7 kilobytes. So the profile that I'm using for Airbus right now is only 7 kilobytes, so you could easily just share it. It's a JSON file. Share it through Discord or post it on the Microsoft, what is that, that website that's painstakingly slow to download things now. I can't think of it. But yes, there's the ability to do presets. So we looked at basic settings, telemetry stuff, axis travel. I haven't messed with this yet, but I think I'm going to start messing with this, and I'm going to show you why. But right now I have everything linear, no curves, no offsets, none of that. But I think I'm going to. I don't know why I have Z-axis on. I don't even have a Z-axis. But if you were to buy the twist grip module, like the one we mentioned earlier on stream, you can buy the Z-axis module. You'll be able to output curves and stuff here. The last tab is the axis force. You can have centering force, which in my airplane right now, the Airbus, we want a centering force. If you are flying a helicopter, for instance, that does not depending on the helicopter you're flying, it does not center. The stick does not center. You basically move it and it stays, or you're flying something with like a force trim. This is where you're probably going to turn this option off. That way you can mimic what the real cyclic would be doing in a helicopter. Now, I don't, off the top of my head, I'm trying to think of any like fixed wing aircraft where you'd have to deal with this. I really can't think of any. There might be one or two out there. I'm not really sure. But again, just the customization options are very, very extensive with this airplane, or with this with the Moza. This or the Brunner Aussie. This, hands down. And the two biggest reasons why I would recommend Moza, actually three. The three main reasons why I'd recommend Moza over the Brunner is, number one, the price of this base is about a third of the price of the base that is available from Brunner, number one. So out of the gate, it's a third of the price. And I'm not; these aren't necessarily in order because you could put that in the third spot. Maybe price isn't an issue for you, but that's just a big factor that they're bringing this technology to this level at that price point is pretty big. My number one reason would be the support of where this company is going with force feedback. Moza is new in the flight simulation game, but not new as far as a company. They've been around racing for a while. They are well known for their force feedback racing equipment. So bringing that tech into the flight sim world, you know they stand behind their product. You know they're going to be there in the future. They went to FS Expo to showcase this stuff, so you know they're invested in this community and what's to come for this community, so you have that comfort moving forward. With Brunner, when I bought my Sidestick, and even with my yoke that I have from Brunner right now, I don't know if it's even going to work with 2024. That's a big issue, especially for the prices that you're paying. Now, I don't see why it wouldn't work with 2024, but I'm not going to hold my breath that it's going to work on the first day. That's for sure. So that's a big issue, and that's probably my number one issue, is knowing that this is not a new company, but an active company within this community that is bringing this product to the table. So that's huge. And then lastly is the software in which I got to go back to Unicom. The software in which this base and this force feedback setup you're going to be using, or the software that you're going to be using with this base, because it's way more intuitive. It's not buggy. It works properly. It's very intuitive. It's just miles better compared to CLS to Sim. Can CLS to Sim still do a lot of stuff? Absolutely it can. I still use CLS to Sim for my Brunner yoke. I love my Brunner yoke. I wish I could use this software with my yoke, but even more so is I wish that maybe Moza is going to be bringing a yoke to the table here in the future, because they've already got the software, it seems, and that would be crucial. So Team Vodka says it's TOD. Let me go ahead and take a look at it. We are not quite there. We're getting close. Getting close. Let me turn the sim down even a little bit more. We'll take a look outside here. Let's back up. I guess can't really see anything there. What we'll do on the ground, though, when we get on the ground, is I will actually do a couple of modifications to this, and you can see how it works in real time, and it's pretty awesome. A couple of things I want to hit on about setting it up specifically for Microsoft Flight Sim and the Airbus that I'm flying right now, because I think I know Team Vodka's pre-ordered one. I think there's a couple that have already ordered one, so you're probably going to be receiving yours sooner than later. And there's a couple things I want to just to point out, but we'll get to that here in a second. Is this a Chinese company, Rayman? Yes, it is a Chinese company. Ozzy says, thank you, V1. I thought it wasn't ready when the other YouTubers covered it initially. Yeah, Ozzy, there's not a whole lot of info out there yet. Again, this is still I guess it's still technically pre-release, because you can pre-order the units, but I don't think they're being being mailed widespread yet. I think it's still pre-release. They're still getting a couple of the bugs out. Like you can see, this was just an update the other day. 1.014 is what I have now, but you can see there's still a couple of things they need to clean up here. Like this is still in Chinese. This is in Chinese. I'm not sure what this is, but as it gets cleaned up for the masses, I'm sure it'll be spot on. Did Moza resolve the mushy feeling of the base? Was not great at FS. Mushy feeling of the base. Digital Mark, I'm not sure what you mean by mushy feeling, because you can change the feeling of the base like on the fly. Now I can't do it because we're flying, but I'll show you on the ground. It's all about your profile that you have set up. It can be very mushy, or it can be, I can set this up to act just like a Thrustmaster Warthog, where it just springs right back and even does the side-to-side wobble like a spring if I turn the damper off. So I'm not quite sure what you felt at the Expo, Digital Mark. Maybe the software was still being developed. I'm not sure. Like I said, This is just an updated version. I don't know if there's probably going to be a couple more updates along the way, I would imagine. But I haven't experienced like a mushy feeling, just because I'm setting it up to fly with the 320 right now. The reps did a bad job with setup then. Maybe they were setting up, what airplane were they setting it up for, Digital Merc? Maybe they were setting it up for a prop. That would be my guess. Maybe they're setting it up for something that will start really mushy and then get very firm as airspeed increases, perhaps. I don't know. I'm just guessing. I wasn't there. But I'm going to mess with this after stream because I'm actually curious to see if I can fly a 727 with this. I might throw on this other base here so I can have trim and all those things. This is like I said, the Verpal base, or Verpal stick rather. You can just stick that on. But I will be making some dedicated videos with this, but I'm still taking my time because I want to make sure I fully understand what I'm actually dealing with. While it's pretty self-explanatory when you look at the info tabs, until you really play with each setting and take that setting up and fly it around, you don't really know 100% what you're doing, right? So I'm giving myself, I wish I could have done this sooner, but I was gone all of last week. So give me some more time, couple more days, maybe another week or two when I really get to play around with this and put different grips on it and fly different airplanes with it. But out of the gate, I have really no negative things to say other than the size of the base is huge. You got to know how to mount it or where you're going to mount it. And that's not really a negative. It's just you have to be aware of it. Can I show you? Let's see if I can pull out my Bruner here. Is it replacing the Bruner? Yes, it's replacing the Bruner stick, but it's not replacing my yoke yet. So this, it's kind of hard to see. This is my Bruner base. Yeah, you can't really see that. And I thought that was big. But the Bruner base is about maybe 2/3 the size of the Moza base. The Moza base is much taller and actually a little bit wider. What I'm hoping is MFG, they're a mounting company. I hope they come out with their own mount for this, because that's what I've always used for a lot of my stuff, especially the Bruner. They had a great mount for the Bruner. You need a heavy-duty mounting solution if you're mounting it to a desk. If you're mounting it to the floor or a floor option or a chair option, probably less so. But if you're putting it onto a desk, you're going to need to have something that drops it down because the base itself is so tall. That's my current issue right now. It's as low as it'll go for me, but it's still about 6 inches too high for Airbus comfort. Does it require a hard mounting, or is there a mobile mounting solution? I don't know what you mean by mobile mounting. Right now, I mounted it to a plate, which I mounted to one of my MFG mounts. Redneck engineered it to mount, so it's mounted to one of those clamshell mounts. But it seems perfectly fine. I just wish I could lower it. I'm gonna have to figure out how to lower it a little bit more. All right, one other thing I want to show you, though, if you do get it. So you see here, this is the analog inputs. Now, I don't know if this can change through software, but it doesn't always center 100% of the time. Now, even when you run the calibration, it'll be off. But as long as it's in that red circle, you're pretty much good to go, because what you're going to do with the Fenix specifically is, I'm going to turn off Windows Capture here. You're going to want to set up your, we got to start down. You're going to want to set up your control config for your side stick to have its own null zone. So as I move it around, you can see how it moves and all that. But you want to have your own, you want to put the null zone here. And in your Microsoft settings, you want to have 100% linear. Okay, if you don't have 100% linear in your Microsoft settings, it can mess with the Fenix a tad. But I did want to test something here. So you can see I'm actually going to mess with this. So everything linear, but I want to move my neutral point up just a tad to help compensate for the that not being 100% on zero. Now it should be pretty darn close. So that's how you want to set it up. Make sure you have your null zone. Well, see, I don't like that. See, now it increased. The null zone. Yeah, I don't like that. I actually like this being 100% linear and just using the Fenix McDo as far as the null zone is concerned. Now, fly-by-wire with this is... I'll just reset that to default. Yeah, you can see, and it goes down. So as long as this null zone is set, should be good to go. If you were flying a conventional aircraft, it's really not going to matter because you're going to use force trim, or you're going to trim it into position or whatnot. Team Vodka, yes, Team Vodka ordered one, and he's going to figure out how to have it centered. So Team Vodka is the Bruner profile guy. He's the professional profiler. And I'm sure once he gets his, he's going to have awesome profiles that I'm going to just steal from him. I'll just set the forces up, and then he can do the rest of it. So that'll be the plan. We need to get some weather, though. We've got ATIS online. We actually got to get back to flying here. Let me fill this in here real quick. And then I think there's a couple more questions. Let me fill this in. 2-9 or 9 or 5. I don't have too much time. I would do a second leg, but I got another tournament tonight, so I gotta keep rolling. I've won the last 4, y'all. I'm 4 for 4. Actually, I take that back. I got second place on one of them, but I won the last 3 and I got second on one of them. So cashed out 4 to 4. Let's see if I can go 5 for 5 this Friday night. Temperature is 22. Wind, let's see, winds are 190 at 4. 10 miles overcast at 1100. Woo, buddy. All right, 190 at 4. Oh, look at that. Because I think that's that spiritual wings that took up behind us. Flight Force 77. Hey, how does the feedback feel? Oh, you're going to love it, dude. Flight Force, you're going to love it. Did I mess my camera up here? I think I did. Just a tad. You're awaiting yours? Yeah, and it's great. It's great, Flight Force. What I said, I don't know if when you tuned in, but make sure you plan for the mounting. Or if you're not going to mount it on something like your desk, or you have an actual stand for it, start planning that now, because they have the dimensions online. And when I tell you the base is big, I mean the base is big. It's got some power inside of it. So as long as you're prepared to mount your stick, as long as you're prepared to mount the base the way you want to mount it, you're going to absolutely love it, man. And it's almost heavy enough that if you have a table, like a sturdy side table, you could legitimately probably set it on the table, depending on how heavy your force is on your feedback. Because it's heavy enough and wide enough that you could definitely fly a helicopter with it just sitting on a table next to you. But if you're going to fly fighters and stuff like that, where you're really going to be fighting, control loading and all that, you're going to want it mounted for sure. But phrasing, I know. All right, we got to get the Barrow in here. Let's do this. Let's come over here. Let's get our charts up. We've got some ATC online. That's awesome. Come back. We'll go San Diego. We're on the arrival. Comics 2. We'll star you. We'll go back. Oh, I keep doing that. We'll go approaches. Zulu. Localizer. Nope. Not Niner. Localizer 27. 663. 680. Do addition. What is that? 730. 730 on the mins. We got our LS push buttons on. Light slope mode off. Come down here and we have a message. Picture of the winning fish, or it didn't happen. You know what's funny, Swarm? I only have pictures from one of the 4 events because what's flat mode off? Light slope mode off. There we go. The first one that I won, I only caught 1 fish. I caught a 4-pounder. And I was like, well, it's not going to do anything. But I was the only boat to weigh it. Well, there was actually one other boat that weighed fish, and he had like 3 pounds. I caught 1 4-pounder. It was almost a 5-pounder. It was like 490 something. That's how tough the lake was fishing. They're pulling water. When they pull water, they just shut down, man. So, I'm in Texas anyway. which is different than being out in Georgia on the East Coast, because if they're not pulling water, they're not biting. And then the night before that, or the other one that we won with like 8 pounds. I mean, we didn't think it was going to win, so we didn't take pictures. We just threw it back. We ended up winning that one. And then the last one, just last Friday, I got a picture of that. Because I caught a 4-pounder on my first cast. My partner caught like a 3-pounder. And then I caught another one that was almost 6. So. Yeah, Bomb Tech. Yeah, man. That's how tough it was, dude. That's how tough. My bait weighs more than that in the Gulf. Well, here's the thing, Bomb Tech. See, God made saltwater fishing so everybody could catch a fish and feel good about themselves. Then he made bass fishing to separate the men from the boys. So, saltwater fishing is cool and all, but Bangin, what's up, man? I have a question. Is the mounting system screwed in side stick into base with FSprojects? Do you need any other? Bangin, I believe you're asking. No, it literally, the FSprojects side stick fits with no adapters at all, as long as you have the Thrustmaster connection pin setup, which I tried showing earlier. But the Virpil, like this is a Virpil grip, and this will fit in there, no issues. You literally just plop it in, and you tighten it down, and it connects right into the base. So if you have a Thrustmaster Warthog, if you have a Thrustmaster F18 grip, if you have what are the ones they have? They got the Warthog, which is the Viper Warthog / the same stick, and they have the F18 stick that fits. My Virpil fits. FSprojects fits. Everything connects seamlessly. They also have their own grip, which I do not have access to. I think they were still delivering. I'm not sure if I'm going to get one or not. But it actually looked very interesting. I really like the grip that they have. If I can probably pull up a picture of it. So if you go to the MH16, this is Moza's stick, and it's literally the same as the F16 grip, except you have 2 additional. You've got a hat and another button here, which is awesome. Which is what I would want. I got the Thrustmaster F18 grip because I thought that it would be better. But then I realized that I actually like the F16 grip better. I have more options. I have an extra hat than the F18. You could see here, what do we got here? I don't know what that is. V Alpha, WW60, and a couple other grip settings. But I don't have any grip. I just have my custom grip on there, the FSprojects. They also have the throttle panel here, which is very interesting. This looks like some sort of force feedback thrust levers. No idea about this, but that looks very interesting. And I don't know if they have pedals down the horizon or not. Like I said, I'm only experiencing the AB9 Base here. So, but it looks like the future is extremely bright for Moza and Flight Sim. It really does. I think they are in a perfect position to just capture this market. And I hope they do, because once you experience force feedback, I've said it since I've started using force feedback, guys, is once you experience flying around with force feedback, you cannot put a non-force feedback stick or yoke in your hands. I thought the honeycomb was good when it came out, and it was decent. Mine didn't last long. I know some people still have the honeycomb alpha, and they love it. I had issues with mine, unfortunately. Once I moved to the TCA Boeing yoke, game changing. I was like, oh, this is awesome. I absolutely love it. It's great. And it is. Once I went to the Brunner yoke, I can't go back to my TCA yoke because it's just that much of a step up. Same is said with force feedback side sticks. Once you start having tactile feel in your own hand of what's happening with your airplane, it's game changing. It's FS realistic to the next level. All right, we need to set a bottom altitude. Let's see, the comics, probably around 5, isn't it? 6,000 at Natty. So we'll do our mini FCU. We'll set 6,000 here. We'll manage descent. We'll spool it back on our way down. Here we go. You mentioned needing a good Salt Lake scenery. Have you looked at Paxton? You know what, Cold Bay? I didn't know they had one. Somebody mentioned that PAXIM did Reno. I'll have to look at that because we don't. We need a good Reno. Is there Reno is good? Because I would love to do more flights in and out of Reno. I'll have to check out PAXIM Reno. but I have not checked out packs in Salt Lake. Or maybe I did. I had one of them for Salt Lake, and it was okay. It was okay. Yes, Rusty. That's what we need from Moza. Moza, if you're listening, you need a pendular yoke that is force feedback. If you can accomplish that, it's game over for everybody else. Even better, Moza, if you can do a yoke that has an interchangeable yoke grip, so like your grips are interchangeable with the AB9 base, imagine having a yoke that had interchangeable yoke handles. So you could do like a 737 style yoke. You could do then you could sell like a 787 style yoke, or you could sell a GA style yoke, and you could put those yokes on. It'd be awesome. Are there any realistic Boeing yokes out there? The closest thing you're going to get to realistic is a force feedback yoke, period. Even though the Brunner is not pendular in motion, because it's force feedback, it doesn't really matter in my opinion. So a pendular force feedback, while that would be the pinnacle, to me it's almost like, why? Because the reason to me the pendular Thrustmaster yoke is so awesome is because of the pendular axis. You can get extremely precise movements near center because it's pendular. But if you have force feedback, you don't need pendular to be precise because it's force feedback. But I'm not saying it wouldn't be cool to have it either way. So that would be the pinnacle, is a pendular style force feedback yoke. If not, just do a regular style force feedback yoke and have interchangeable yoke grips. Then you're done. Then that's it. You're top of the mountain. Stop with this force feedback stuff. I'm having visions of my wallet crying. I'm sorry, Swarm. I'm sorry, but y'all know me. Once I find something that I'm excited about and I believe in, it's hard for me to stop, because it's that much more enjoyable, and I want to share that. Like, hey, and I'm not here. I'm not getting a paycheck from Moza, or definitely not getting anything from Brunner. I'm not getting paid for any of that. Moza did send me the base to review, but once you experience how awesome it is, I guess a similar concept would be people who talk about VR being incredible. I even know XP72 said, hey, you got to try VR, and I want to. I've never put a VR headset on my head, but everybody that has flown VR has said it's game changing. I can only imagine it's similar to flying force feedback. Someone who hasn't flown force feedback. Felix, this one is $550 for the base, and it's compatible if you have like I said, the grips. A lot of grips are compatible. Pretty much, I don't know what grips wouldn't be compatible other than, gosh, what is the brand? Is it Windwing? I feel like Windwing is compatible. VKB, definitely not. But it seems like everybody that sells side sticks, they are using that same connecting style pin setup that Vertical and Thrustmaster have. You gonna sell the hardware you don't use now? I'll probably give it away. I have 2 rigs set up though, so I'm still using some of it. Imagine force feedback with a VR headset on. You might as well buy a Level D sim at that point. But yeah, I can only imagine. I have Reno Tahoe V2 as well, although I haven't been there since the mid-90s. I'm not sure how good it is. It looks nice though. Reno Tahoe V2 Cold Bay. Okay, I will look into it. Because honestly, taking a 727 out of Reno might be pretty fun if we have good scenery. Do some Reno ops. Mad Max, exactly. Detachable like the F1 steering wheels. Exactly. Cloud action, that's a good point. A grip for the left hand and a throttle for the right hand. That would be interesting. Yeah, they should have a separate left and right. Water needs something besides Xbox controller. He thinks it's the best. I know, AJ. coming down to San Diego. Man, being on an Airbus yesterday, just it's crazy how realistic the Fenix is. That's crazy. I can't wait, Nabil. 319, game changing for me. I love it. We're gonna fly 319. Hold on, I got a question for y'all. What is your first flight with the new Phoenixes? 319 or 321? So are we diverting? Nah, sorry, Restique. We talked way too long. We're on the descent now. We'll do a magic barrel ref check. We're 29 or 901. Down to 6,000. We're on speed. Look at this little detail. 4107. That's the ship number right there. Terrain mode up on my side. We can put TCAS in below mode. We got a little speed brake action here. Hopefully we can break out and I can hand fly. Sorry, drinking my boba tea. .319 ferry flight, minimal fuel, no packs, no D-rate. Hey, I'm surprised to see a lot of you on the 319 train with me. Overcast 1100 Chase B. Yeah, it's going to get, our minimums are 600 feet, so we should see the runway at 400 feet prior. We need more drag. Let's go ahead and keep the speed brakes out. We'll go live. I don't know where the dome light's still on. Chinese speed brakes are coming out. Look at that. 319, because 321 is mid. The 321 is not mid, AJ. You're mid. 320 is mid. Here's the thing. Once the 19 and 21 drop, we'll probably never fly the 320 again. Logo lights, that's a great question. I don't know what happened to Q. Where is Q8? I'll have to send him a message. I have not heard or seen anything from him in quite some time. Oh. I don't feel too much vibration. I don't feel any vibration on that. Maybe I have to set it up right. You know why it may not be? Because I have it in direct mode right now, where it's not reading. Let me show you. What is that option called? Yeah, I have telemetry FFB on. Oh, so here's another options I forgot to show you guys. So you have different input modes. So right now I'm in telemetry force feedback mode, which is number 2. It says uses telemetry data from the game to generate force feedback effects through Moza Cockpit. Direct input force feedback is disabled in this mode, which is what I want for the 320. The integrated mode, both direct and telemetry are active simultaneously. That's integrated. The direct mode allows the game to directly control the force feedback effects by the input device. I'd probably have to be either in direct mode or integrated mode for that. But I have telemetry mode on right now because I'm flying the 320, which is very mid in terms of force feedback. However, having the proper profile set up with the force makes it feel just like a real side stick is pretty incredible. That's probably why. Like I said, I got to do some more messing with it because I'm going to be making some videos on, and I want to make a couple of profiles. I want to make sure I have a really good Airbus profile. I'm going to have to make a 7.2 profile because yes, it's not a yoke, but a lot of you fly Boeings with side sticks. I am aware of that. So maybe if you're deciding to get the last side stick base you'll probably ever buy, which if you think about it, this could be the last base you ever buy for a side stick, right? Because you don't need to upgrade springs anymore. You don't need to upgrade to a better quality cam system. Just buy the base and put your grip on it and buy different grips to fly different aircraft. Now look at the detail. Can you guys see that? Look at the detail in this livery here. That is insane. Insanity. All right, we're in the soup. We're out of 10. Lights are on. Let's select speed. Let's bring it back. Selected speed 210 knots. We'll come down here. Perf. We'll activate and confirm the approach phase. For our progress, we're going to put Rebo. Put Rebo in there for our final approach fix. A little bit fast, a little more speed brake action. Looks pretty split on the pole, huh? 54 to 46. All right, 319 is GOAT though. Bo, yeah, exactly. That's what I was saying earlier. We had a pretty in-depth discussion. We were talking about the Mosa, and I was going through the software. For me, as somebody who has been using force feedback now for almost, I'd say, better part of a year with the Brunner stuff, my number one concern was the support and the future support for that stick and my yoke. But now with Moza on the with Moza here, no, I don't have to worry about that because they have a well-proven track record with their racing department. So, and they've positioned themselves right in the best time, because with 24 on the horizon, there was a little bit of force feedback at Expo, right? You had the flight sim yoke, which was a really interesting setup. I don't have any experience with it. I actually sent them an email, never heard anything back. Look at this. We're going to fly right through the hole. Oh my goodness. Can y'all smash the like button for flying through phrasing? Let me reset that. Just smash the like button for this view. Oh my word. We didn't even hit 200 likes. You guys are weak. That's why we're not doing 2 legs, because you guys didn't even hit 200 likes. Yeah, I was going to say G-hole, AJ. But yeah, Bo, going back to your point, is knowing what Moza is capable of doing with their technology that they already possess in their racing equipment, I'm very, very excited. Smash the hole. I wonder what a Boeing side stick grip would look like. That would be interesting. Or even just a civilian style. Yeah, I don't know. Alexa Rastas, thanks for the 40 months of support. 40 months. Background lurker reporting for duty. Alexa Rastas, appreciate you very much. Background lurker or not, you're part of V1 Nation for sure. You're part of what makes this channel go round, so I really appreciate that. I'm honestly pumped for the iFly Max thing. Looks wild. I know people were talking about it. I haven't really seen the video. Someone said there's a cabin light video I got to look at. All right, let's go ahead and extend flaps 1. Speed checks, flaps 1. Let's descend and maintain 5,000. Thrust idle, open descent. Down we go. Towers online on 18.3. We'll call them once we turn final. .319 Finnair Ops. Man, what are we going to fly first on the 319? I don't know what we're going to fly first. 210 is required at Lindy, so we'll keep that. We'll just go right to Lindy here in a minute. We'll come down here. We'll set up a direct Lindy. Just another minute or 2. I was thinking it's got to be Cactus, right? Diabetic Lad? Phoenix to Oakland. Phoenix to San Jose. Might have to be Phoenix to San Jose. All right, let's go ahead and go direct Oakland. Jeez, let's go direct Lindy. We're naving in the turn. Well, I don't want to go straight American Airlines 319 because they only have CFM 19s with sharklets. Well, actually, you know what? I'll take that back. They don't have IAEs with sharklets, but we're not getting sharklets, right? It's just the 1921 on this update. 319 long haul. Should we go? Should we do? What could we do? We could go Honolulu to San Francisco at 319. Virgin America. I don't know, man. You guys got me thinking. 319 or grayscale. I love that grayscale. I wanted to fly the grayscale Spirit livery, but you guys were like, man, it's not a 320. It's not realistic. You can't fly that. So we couldn't fly it. But a true grayscale. All right, we got to actually pay attention here. Direct Vita. Let's go ahead and clean up the line. Nope. Direct Vita. Direct Vita. Insert. Descend and maintain 4,000. Thrust throttle open, descent nav, brighten it up here a little bit. Train off the, look at this. Oh, AJ, you got, that's really Mexicana 319. I love that Mexicana livery. Could do Northwest. Well, they were all CFMs, right? Cynic, yes. The 320 type is good for the 19 and 21. Seatbelts? We don't need seatbelts where we're going. Lights, seatbelts are on, lights are coming on. Let's call tower on 18.3. He's primed up. We're Vita for 4,000. We need to start slowing up here. Let's come right back to 180 now. Speed 180. Oh, geez, we didn't even get replay going. Microsoft clouds are horribly gray. Who peed in your Cheerios this morning, A-Rod? Just kidding, man. I think they look good, dude. I guess they're not the puffy white, right? Is that what you're looking for? Maybe you want the puffy white clouds. I still think they look good enough for me. VFE next, minus 10 flaps 2. Here we go. Well, it's early morning, so the sun is still low-ish. Not really. All right. I mean, I don't know. The sun is still kind of low. If I brought it to real time, I bet it would be a little bit better. 2,700 feet. We're flaps 2, 180. We're coming down to 2,700 for CG. Rebo is at 2,000 feet. We should do track FPA mode. I'm all behind, though. Let's call tower. Tower, good afternoon. 357, just outside CG for the localizer 27 with Charlie. No, Kilo.
United 357, good morning, Limber Tower with 200 at floor, only 2,000 clear land.
Runway 27, clear to land for United 357. All right, let's manage it up here. Keep slowing down.
San Diego Tower, 31714, we're on for the INAF Yankee 27.
VFE next, minus 10 flaps 3. We're getting behind here.
With 190 at 4, runway 27, land
Track
traffic
FPA, 3 degrees.
8 miles final.
Gears coming down.
Take it down, runway 27, number 2, 3, wind 714.
12 by 5. Yeah, I know. Spiritual wings, super loud. We're going to be high on this jet. 4.1 on the FPA. We're coming down.
2,500.
Recording's on. Into the soup we go.
Aircraft attention, Limber Tower, close now, monitor Limber Cita 118.3, see ya.
Dope.
And have a nice day.
Thanks, you too.
Yeah, thank you.
All right, flight director's off.
Yeah, you too.
We gotta focus, chat. Recording's on. His mic scared my cat. Sorry, Steven. All right, autopilot. Oh, don't go into alt star. Son of a gun. Autopilot off. That's weird. Alright, clear that. Go around altitude, we'll set 4,000. Manual brakes. Oh, we're going to brake out just in time. I got that master warning. I guess I moved the yoke before disconnecting. Alright, we're back on it. We got a little bit high there. We were distracted. A-Rod's trying to... Hey! A-Rod's a saboteur. We have a saboteur emoji now. A-Rod in here trying to saboteur our approach. This is our first landing attempt here with the Moza Force feedback stick. Let's try not to float her out here. I am going to come in a little extra low. I'm going to come in non-SOP low because we want to go right over that rooftop for the replay. So for cinematic purposes, we're going to drop it in right over that rooftop. Okay. A little bit of a crosswind from the left. Not bad, though.
100 above.
Pax, yes. Short answer, Pax, yes. But if you wind the stream back about 20 minutes, we went into a lengthy discussion in cruise about the features and stuff. And I'm not using a fraction of the stuff available because I'm just doing an Airbus flight right now. But what the stick is capable of, it's very, very impressive. All right, that's low enough. We'll keep it 3 reds here. We'll keep it 3 reds for the parking garage. Oh, that's 4 reds. Correcting. Oh, we spooled up right near the parking garage. That's good. All right, let's shallow it out now. We don't want to put it on the numbers.
100.
We got to get past this displaced threshold.
50. 40. 30. 20. Retard.
357, welcome to San Diego, exit left when able. Traffic is on a... Traffic's on a 2-mile final.
Bro, I'm still on the flare.
Yeah, 357.
We'll turn to left, 357. I mean, I'm still in the flare and he's trying to give me taxi instructions. Is there a dead zone on the Moza? Yes, Sims. I showed you there's you can set up your own dead zones in the software. For the Phoenix, though, I'm using the Phoenix
taxi, Park Via Bravo, good day.
Park Via Bravo, good day, 357, see ya. But I'm using the Phoenix's dead zone, which is what I recommend. Keep everything linear. Look at that, Microsoft. I bet you never seen windsocks do that in real life. What in tarnation? What is that? How do we have windsocks going opposite directions?
Brewing 714, welcome to San Diego, exit left when able, taxi, parking by Bravo.
All right, we're going to watch that replay, and then I'm going to show you guys some more of the Moza software here on the ground.
Spearlink 714, exit left when able, taxi to parking by Bravo.
We got all our lights on because we're going to go right into replay mode because we got some Moza things.
Spearlink 714, Lindbergh Tower.
Gate 39, right next to this interesting looking livery off my right.
Spirit Wings 714, 714, Lindbergh Tower.
Go ahead for Spirit 714.
Spirit 714, third time mission, taxi, parking by Bravo, good day.
Taxi, parking by Bravo,
Should we park on the 319 line? Ooh, that was a perfect ARP. All right, we're on. Here comes the spiritual wings. Man, he was right behind us. All right, let's take a look at the replay. And then we're going to do some more Moza stuff here. So let's go to replay mode briefly. Marshaller's eyes on fire because I don't want to click the freaking light switches 54 times. Migs gifting the 5 gifted memberships. Migs, appreciate you, man. Very kind. Appreciate the support. If you pick up a membership from Migs, make sure you shout him out and say thank you. He's a legend here on the channel, so you were awarded a membership via a legend. Appreciate you, Migs. And AJ Funari right up behind there, $3 super chat. AJ, appreciate you, man. The 2024 touching tips is accepted now. Tips touching is accepted now. Yes, just no eye contact for 5 minutes. Appreciate you, AJ. Thanks for the support, man. Their eyes on fire. All right, let's watch this landing, and then I'm just gonna set the airplane down, and we're gonna look at some of the software in action. Wow, look at this view. We did disconnect from my Veo Premium, Steven. Yes, we did. We disconnected from my Veo Premium. Look at this morning arrival here. This is juice. Let me turn the auto thrust back on. What a beautiful approach this was. Look at that fog and the haze down there. Good night. I was not expecting it to be like that. So smooth though. Gosh, I'm loving this new rig though, this PC. I mean, we're just buttering everywhere we go. We need to go to LAX next. We got to do an LAX freighter run because I want to see LAX with this new PC. All right, so we're going to drop it in super low here for cinematic purposes, but look at that. Look at the hillside. Golly, I can't wait for 2024. You'd be getting 5 FPS into that. I know, I'm just, while streaming too, you know, like I haven't taken my other PC back to the house yet because I'm waiting to see if I need to do the streaming PC capture card setup, but yeah, Chase B, you're right. JFK will be the ultimate test. We should do JFK LAX stress test. We'll go LAX JFK. Take advantage of some winds, maybe. Oh, we were right over that roof. Held it off. I think that was pretty smooth. We'll have to look. I lost control of the nose there just a tad. That's on me, just being sucky. But that actually, from that view, it looked pretty good. Let's see. See how it actually was. I don't know why I can't control the nose. I swear I can control the nose better in real life. Alright, let's see what happens here. Let's get you out of that split. I mean, not bad. What is the touchdown? Just past 1,000 footers. I'd say probably a solid 200. Yeah, so I was trying to get him back on center line. Any thoughts on HughesNet? I've never used HughesNet set, unfortunately, so I don't really have any experience with that one. Oh wow, look at this view. Well, now I kind of want to watch it from this view. Hold on. I was going to set up the parking garage cam, but let's watch this. Oh yeah, we hit it a little bit hard. Hold on, I want to watch that view in slow mode. Let's watch this in slow mode. Half speed. I like to see the compression happen here. We didn't smash it. There you go. The spoilers come out, and the compression of the struts. Getting on center line. Not terrible. Not terrible. All right, let's go to the parking garage. Parking garage, where art thou? I think you are right here. This is where I was. this, right? Yep. Let's disconnect the camera. Wind it back a tad. Oh, yeah. Oh, look at that. Look at that subtle wing flex, too, just like the real Airbus. So dang good, man. Fenix is so dang good. Every time I fly this airplane, I'm reminded why it's the GOAT. Other than the spoilers being up there. Well, that's my bad, because my reversers are still deployed. Oh, I'm wearing half speed. All right, full speed, resume it, and then we're gonna land. I'm gonna stop the replay, and we're gonna look at some force feedback settings. That reverser sound seemed a little bugged. Might just be the replay. Oh wow, there's a custom cabin in here too. Look at this. Cool. Look at the reflections on the clouds. Golly. I had a reverse. Stow it. Love it. Migs, thanks for the $5 super chat, man. I appreciate you. Says, have you flown into London City in the sim in real life too, I guess? If not, I'd love to see the appropriate aircraft of your choice. Migs, thanks for the $5 super chat. Yes, we have flown into London City. We did it in the 319 on the 7,000 sub special. 7-hour long haul. Went from, where'd we go? Kennedy? We went from Kennedy to London City, British Airways, Speedbed 1. It was a great flight, so we might have to pay visit again, Migs. We're going to have to do another London tour here pretty soon. I got to get off this thing, but before I do, I just want to see, I'm going to show you, if you're still here and you're still hardcore about the Moza Sidestick, I want to show you some real-time editing here. So I'm going to pull this up. Just some basic, I want to show you, and Vodka, I don't know if you're still here, but you'll really appreciate this. So like if I turn spring force down, it's basically, it's not springless because it's crazy. I have force in the direction that I put the side stick, but it doesn't want to center back on its own very well. It's just kind of like almost helicopter, but not quite helicopter. Now watch, as I move, let me put it over to the left. As I move the spring tension up, snap back over, right? Now, see how it's still, I don't know if that is a software thing where we can dial in that calibration a little bit more. The dampener system, so here we go. So full left, watch the stick. Stick doesn't move, right? Now I'm gonna turn the dampener from 51 to 0. It's much more floppy, like you would have a spring in there. I'm going to bring you back up. Inertia and friction. So this is just, you won't be able to see this. I'm trying to move things that you would actually see have a difference. But let's just say I moved my settings around. Like, okay, that's cool. That's all I want. And now I want to have my profile. I'm going to import my Airbus profile. Boom, everything snaps back to where it was for my Airbus profile. And that still feels pretty dang good. I think I'm going to keep this as the default profile. Now there's a auto calibration that takes place. You can watch it run through its calibration. You can do manual calibration as well if you need to. I'll run through. And it'll stop. And as long as you're in that main red circle, then you use the Fenix McDo's dead zone, and then it basically runs it as 0. So gotta love it. I'm going to be flying some other aircraft with some other grips here. We're going to get into some of these more general effects. Like I said, I'm really going to try. I'm actually going to hang up the stream right now, and I'm going to try to do a quick down and dirty 727 flight with it, just to see what would happen, because I'm very curious. But that's it. That's a wrap. The Moza, you're going to be seeing a lot more of the Moza here on this channel, because it is here to stay. That is for sure. I'll also give you guys another replay or two as we wrap this one up. Flaps are coming out, gears coming down. Migs, another $5 super chat. Forgot to ask, is this or the Brunner? Both just as good. Migs, this is a superior to the Brunner in my opinion for multiple reasons. If you just take everything else away except the future and the support that you're going to have with Moza is why it's ahead of the Brunner for me. I mentioned it back. If you want to watch in detail, I talked in length in Cruise about the base. I brought up the same software, but for the price, the support, and the software, those are three major issues for me, and Moza is superior in all three. Now, if you have the Brunner, or maybe you already got the Brunner, is the Brunner by any means bad? No, it's not. The Brunner is a great piece of hardware. I still have the Brunner yoke. Matter of fact, I'm going to take my Brunner Sidestick back to my home PC. I'm going to have that over there. But I don't know what the future holds for Brunner. So right now, I mean, Brunner was pretty much the only player in town for a while. Now it looks like there's a new player in town with Moza, and I can't help but think that Moza is going to continue to reign supreme over this specific market here with flight sim. So thank you again for the super chat, the $5 super chat, man. Appreciate you. All right, y'all, I'm wrapping it up. We'll get some tunes on. I still don't have the proper sale, but you can have this one. All right, A320 San Diego. Absolutely juice. Always fun. Look at the reflection. Man, the sim is just looking so good. Look at the bridge over there. Good night. I want to fly more, but I can't. I got to go do some stuff. Get ready for tonight. So I will see y'all tomorrow evening, most likely. I have another surprise tomorrow. Make sure you tune in. I'm very, very excited for what I'm going to show you guys tomorrow as well. So thanks again, Moza. Shout out to Moza sending me the AB9 base. There'll be more to come in the future. You guys were awesome. Thanks for hanging out and spending some time with me today on this Friday. Y'all have a wonderful rest of your evening. Stay safe, stay healthy. I'm V1. Two. Read.